This month is. Oh, I wouldn't want to do that without sharing.
Oh, I know, to be able to share.
Yeah, just in general.
Well, I have. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask if we wanted to ever share like a display, could be cast like computer up to one of the monitors or TV.
I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can just join the Zoom call and
And
give you,
share
give
and
you
whatnot.
a host. Yeah.
So I haven't.
Cool. I thought Dave and I were gonna meet early at 6.
Yeah, I told it. Apparently I just made us show up on time. Yeah, I got something to show you after. I think it's a little preliminary to share it yet.
So anyway, it is the appointed hour, which is 6 o'clock, and we're all here because we know that Bob won't be here. And we do have one guest, Barry Pinsky. I don't think I see anyone on Zoom. So I guess we might as well just start. And the first item is approved minutes from the previous meeting, which I did send out by email. And anyone care to make a motion?
All motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any corrections or deletions, additions, as the saying goes? If not, then those in favor of adopting the minutes of February 25, say aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. Next item, which is required by the open meeting law, is citizens' comments. I think Barry's the only citizen, and you'll probably comment later, but
Try
Thank you.
to not say much.
okay. Charging right along, update on mission change. You're thinking that'll go to the select board April
We'll be at the
1.
select board next Wednesday.
I just thought for the heck of it, I would put it out so that you could see again, if you want to take another slice of the apple, that that's what the minutes record that the final decision was, that what's in italics is going to be added.
I'm good with it.
Okay, good. Then that,
Everybody good?
Mhm.
Okay, and that's, can you tell me that? Stay by my side. Thank you.
I don't know if the working groups have had a chance to work or if they were thinking they were going to be working right now.
No, we
We did.
But anyway, the first working group, I think, I was looking at the minutes and they were a little garbled, but I thought the names were business list and gap analysis and community survey and website. If that's correct, then why don't we start with the first one, which is the business list?
So we had put together, we merged the two lists that have been going, the Springfield Registry list and the AI generated one, and we consolidated them down. And Bob was working on identifying which ones have been decommissioned. So I think that's still, I didn't see anything come out of that yet, but it's pretty,
No.
it's getting close.
Great. It will be a nice resource when it's ready, particularly, I mean, at the very least, to reach out to businesses, because they'll have their email address.
So we'll add this.
And then whether they want to actually be on some sort of a official list that the public can see, we'll worry about as time goes on.
We'll add business lists to it. I'm sure
Yeah.
Bob will have it done by then.
Yeah, and we should plan on the next meeting to present the first draft of the business list that we go to public.
Perfect.
And then start using it.
Perfect.
Okay, so that'll be on the agenda for next meeting. The next report is community survey.
We have a bunch of them. And we have a pretty solid business survey that Carl put together. A lot of other ancillary surveys that I think have value. I think we could present what we have, but I think we should probably spend, again, this time between the next meeting to finalize those. Unless you want to move forward more.
Well, I was going to have a question regarding kind of the idea behind coordinating with the town plan, I know they're going to be soliciting VOC as well as part of their plan refresh. Do we know if there's going to be a pretty big gap between when that goes out to pick up input from external stakeholders then I think there's no danger in us releasing one early. If anything, it kind of helps us codify like who has an active email address, who's actually participating. That might reinforce what happens with the town plan. If the town plan, and I know we're going to be working on this as part of the planning committee, but like if the town plan plans on going out really soon, I don't want to release surveys that might confuse.
Sure.
You know, so I think I
I
want to
haven't
understand.
heard anything from Hugh on
Yeah.
update on that.
Carl knows a little more because he is actually
Right,
on the planning commission.
Right,
We're in a 2-year window to get the town plan
right.
updated and adopted. We got a municipal planning grant to do it. We're we had our kickoff meeting earlier this month, so. I don't know if the planning commission in and of itself is gonna send out a survey. So it could very well be that your surveys will be things
good.
that will
Okay.
inform the town plan. What we did in our plan to update the town plan was say that we would hold 4 like listening sessions. And it could be that those listening sessions will be framed with questions, but we haven't gotten there yet. So I would say don't hold back. It's just we need to
Okay.
make sure that the planning commission doesn't send out a survey the same time that you are.
Well, we can communicate with Hugh.
So I think,
Keep him
we can
updated
keep
on
that
this.
Okay.
that informed. Hugh's the planning commission chair and he's kind of taking the lead of this, but I am the town planner, so I am definitely going to be involved in the town plan. And our current town plan is just lots of print, black on white paper, and we're looking for making something that's got pictures and headings and columns, a little more readable, and hopefully some meaningful objectives.
I think I should show kind of preliminary.
Yeah, the possibility of what's there.
So, yeah, so there has been a ton of work done, and collaboration
Yeah.
on, different questions we would want to ask and what the value of the different groups is. And I do think we're going to be able to move a lot faster than most. So I
You
wouldn't
probably
want,
will.
yeah, I wouldn't want to restrain ourselves. Colin, I want to show you this first, and I don't think this is good for distribution yet, but just as far as taking the different surveys, and I'll pass it around.
Do you just want to tilt it this way? Here, let me move
Yeah.
over here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And again, this is just a working, this is up on a website, but it's beta. It's a fake hosting website and, but we took and have working drafts of different surveys. So basically said, out of all of our working groups, what do we have that we're working on? And created this portal, that could tie a lot of things in quickly. So if you look at the surveys, these are the different groups we're looking at. So a business survey, vacation visitors, older local residents, we'll have to tweak some of the language here. Real estate agents, developers, town employees, planners, farmers, agricultural, young adult and families, out-of-state property owners, resident leakage survey.
Certain people could fit into more than one of those categories.
Absolutely.
Second, I mentioned at the last meeting that there was a survey done probably about 8. Have you seen that?
Yeah, we've got that
Okay.
and we have it up in the working group and we've actually done some analysis on it.
Okay.
So we could actually share some of that data here, but what's kind of cool about this is, we could, so all of this stuff is there for us to tweak. And this is all based on the work that
Yeah.
Carl did, right? And so it's all basically, when somebody fills this in, it can write to a spreadsheet. And so we can have it instantly available to you guys, like instantly. And for other media, so if Brian's gonna go around or I'm gonna go around, and actually talk to business owners, each of these could have a QR code, right? Where they just scan it with their
Yes.
phone. And this is phone friendly, so they can,
Yep.
and it can be, they could say who they are, or it could be anonymous. And then just some of the other things we're thinking about within the groups that these surveys, we want to be, you know, Carl's been mentioning, it'd be great to have kind of a dashboard that shows what our objectives are and where we are with them. So this is where that would be. Town plan, we could, whatever's ready for publishing. Again, because this is a group that's more of a committee and not as, I think we can move a little bit faster and looser
Yeah.
than say something that the select board has to approve everything.
Yeah.
Business directory, so different sections and, you know, make it look better, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But, and then we were thinking having an overall activity calendar. So there's two different aspects. One is, what's going on in the local environment that's already booked that business owners could use to know, oh, something at the ski resort is happening this weekend.
Mhm.
I want to attract people as they go by, or nothing's happening. I want to throw something, etc.
Mhm.
But then also a place that while we're having people fill in these surveys, tell us what you know about Chester and have a huge list of all the different things that get offered.
Mhm.
And, you know, do you value this? Did you know about it? And, you know, kind of build off of that.
Wow.
I think it's
So
all
this
exciting
is-
and
yeah.
you have, I mean, Carl's on the planning commission. He's the only one that has that kind of skills. And so, no, I mean, I think it's great.
Okay.
No, I don't
I-
have those kinds of skills. That's.
Okay. Well,
Brian does.
Brian and Damon are more of the.
my
web
instinct is the
inform-
planning commission would just simply use the data you come up with. I'm not seeing a whole lot of them feeling like, gee, hey, you're taking our steam away from us. I don't see that at all.
One of the comments was made in the planning commission was how if we can make sure that like what we surface here and our goals and our priorities get baked into the town plan, that it increases our likelihood of being able to get grant money because there's
Yes.
that harmonization between like, oh, it's in your town plan and you want this, so
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
so.
And I've watched those videos, so
Oh,
I'm
okay,
actually up to
perfect.
speed
Mhm.
on everything that was said. So,
Oh, good. Oh, wow, great.
yeah, I know. Apparently I have a lot of extra time.
Yeah, I know, you must. But anyway, that's
Well, I
still good.
appreciate you using it for good.
That's right.
Yeah, full disclosure, this was created off of a lot of work that Carl did automatically using AI.
Yeah.
It looks great. Is
Terrifying.
there a way to
I know, I'm afraid of it.
transition that into, if you did, how would that work, really? Is there like a domain that he can?
Well,
post
so
that into?
that was my next, this is kind of a leading question. The tools that towns use are changing, right? And even the tools that marketers would use. It used to be SurveyMonkey and all these things.
Mhm.
But now, so I could not have done, so I did a lot of research to find out what current tool to create websites leverages AI the most and is affordable.
Mhm.
And so my thought process, especially for this, would be, we don't necessarily do anything with the main Chester website right now. However, with AI, you can stand up and take down, create and destroy things very quickly. And so I would propose that we stand pieces up and stand websites up as they're needed, leveraging AI. And so my question is there any, like, this is not very expensive, but I would imagine the town would want to own or control, right? And so
Yeah.
there needs to be some sort of budget, because again, I don't mind I'm doing this on my own dime.
Yeah.
But there's a line where I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, so, you know, the select board will allocate funds from the from the Chester Development Funds.
Okay.
For work for the economic development phase. So I think it's a matter of coming up with a budget.
Mhm.
What do we need to kind of do this first phase?
Okay.
What are we doing with it? How much do we need? And then it's just getting it before the select board for approval.
Is it better to do it kind of piecemeal? Like, you know, in this phase, we only need X amount of dollars to just put this up as a website that the
Mhm.
town can, you know, visit this
Mhm.
site.
Mhm.
You know, to kind of David's point, that it's no longer needed, you
Mhm.
pull it back down, but it's not, we don't need it. We're not going to need, some of those elements might be good for the town to keep, like the registry and, about kind of stuff. But then other things like we don't need it in perpetuity, right? We're
Right.
not going to need the surveys open all the time.
Right.
I guess there's kind of two schools of thought. Funding is think of everything you're going to need for the next year and then ask for it one time, or is the select board kind of like, oh yeah, just come to us, and if you need like $100 here or there,
Yeah.
it's not.
I
How does that
wouldn't,
work?
I wouldn't do it in a way that, every month we end up having to be there asking for more money. They tend to, like, what is your plan?
Mhm.
What is your plan for, 6 months, a year? Like, we think we need to have that conversation
Mhm.
about, these are the projects, these are gonna be our focus for the year. This is the money that we anticipate we're gonna need for 6 months or a year, whatever that looks like, and then go to them with,
But we could do it in
here's
like
the
6
direction we're
months
going. I think so.
windows.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So it's like the first phase might be really small, right? As we're just trying to gather requirements
right.
and understand what should we even focus on. But then like if unanimously everyone's like, we need to have a carving festival, like, and we realize, oh, we need $3,000 for
right,
security, porta potties, yada, yada, but we
Right.
think it's gonna bring in $100,000, it's,
right.
okay.
Right. I think that probably what I would do the first round of asking for funds would be something along the lines of, this is the work we're doing to kind of create our baseline, right? And that's what these surveys are doing. They're creating our baseline. The business registry is creating our baseline. We need money to create that and to put in the tools in place to help guide what we're going to do next. We will be back in the future when we decide what these next steps are, but this is the money we need to get us going, to create the tools, or to use the tools to create the baseline and to get us started. That's probably what I would start with.
And then I'm hoping like in the future, we'll have KPIs to be able to say, oh yeah, sales have gone up this much. And then it'll be an easier sell. because,
Absolutely.
oh yeah, I'll buy gas for that because it gets me some mileage.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So I think I would think about what are the projects we're going to be working on over the next however many months, and what is the funding needed for that?
When is budget, like, is it October, is it December? When is the budget set for the town?
The budget is set usually mid-January.
Okay,
The funds for the Economic Development Committee are not taxpayer funds. They're not general fund funds. There is a separate pot of funds, the Chester Development Funds. It's the funds that the town uses for things like, capital loans for businesses in town, those types of funds. They're rolling funds, they're loan funds, but the policy that the select board updated a couple of years ago, in anticipation that I was going to finally get my committee, put parameters in there to be able to fund economic development activities of this committee. We just have to go to the select board because they are the managers of those funds. So we just have to go to them for the approval.
Yeah, and I think
So it's not taxpayer funds that will be funding.
I think they'll be pleasantly surprised. The things that we're going to be able to do for the price points
Yeah.
are going to be night and day.
Yeah.
Like this would have cost,
Oh, yeah.
this
I
would
do,
have
which
cost-
what's been holding me off from doing the town's
Yeah,
website.
so we can do,
If we hired a consultant to do this, we know what
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking about. Oh, yeah.
right, so I
Yeah.
think it'll be a no-brainer. And I think they'll be very excited.
Sure, go ahead, Barry.
Thank you. So I have been struggling with getting help and have had a bad attitude about young people. But the new crop of 19, 20-year-olds seem to be different than the ones that got the medal for everything. And I've had a few of them pop into my place, and I've been meeting them at different stores. And it's like they want to work. And there was someone that put a posting out today on Facebook looking for an internship. And one of the things that I've always thought about, and this is what's coming up here again. I'm going to try to be succinct. I apologize. If you got an idea to start a lemonade stand, all of a sudden you need this and that and the other thing, and then you need more stuff. So obviously here you got another thing. Oh, we're going to do this. Now we need more stuff. It's going to take up time, this, that, and the other. So my point is, the town wants to have a better website and social media presence and all this sort of stuff. The Economic Development Committee is moving faster than some of these other groups and able to do things. My idea has always been to try to get an intern in the office or somebody, a young person that wants to have something on their resume. If those things could cross over, then you have someone to hand over this sort of stuff that has the enthusiasm, the skills to leave you guys to focus on the stuff that you're trying to do rather than get in the woods of all of this, making that happen. So I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? It's
there
another
are-
piece, but
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Barry, times are changing so fast that there's no woods. A lot of this, discovery that we've done and the work that we're doing, moves at such a rapid.
so you don't need another body. You could do it with the AI, just pay it, get it done and don't have to worry about all the thing.
Right.
Yeah, but my point is from translating that into what Julie wants, you think down the road, then it'll just make the leap for that we don't need somebody in the town to do that more?
So I'm all for helping, so this is just me talking as Damon, I'm all for, we need to have plans to help our younger people and citizens, and anywhere we can give them opportunities, we ought. So that aside, I think, looking at Julie's list, which is probably on the agenda.
We'll get to it next, yeah?
Yeah, no, this is all very, very much attainable. And then more, I'm sure.
If you don't mind me making my 2 cents, I've worked with interns a lot in the past, and if you have a clearly defined work plan for them, it's great. But sometimes you spend a lot of energy keeping them busy instead of, so you don't want to stray into an intern without really having a
take away from
clear
the
idea.
meeting here is one of the things I really don't want to do, but I was just thinking, if there's another job that's being created, maybe the
Yeah.
word intern isn't right, finding someone that, was a little fireball that wants to work on the town website and would be happy to help, that doesn't necessarily need to be in the office or need management, that can kind of run with it a little bit. That might be another way to just hand off the thing, like having someone mow your lawn rather than give them a real job. But whatever.
We're not creating staff positions.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, just from, an efficiency standpoint, even if there was anyone in the town that was interested in learning more about how to utilize some of the AI tools, we would be more than happy to all of it's really new and it's changing and it is getting so much more easier to get in and out of. And you can do a lot of stuff that would have required just hundreds of man hours before. And the tools are really cheap for what you get out of it.
Today, and that could
Yeah.
change, and it probably will change. So we're more than willing to help transfer knowledge. But I will say there's 2 different types of people that really will do well now utilizing tools like this. One is the generalist who can just knows what questions to ask, because then they have a specialist. And then it is also the specialist who can really hone in and quickly create systems that are the right systems. So those 2 are gonna do well. But
Well, our clerk and assistant clerk, Amy and Sam, are the ones that
Yes,
principally maintain the website, and I think
Right.
they're both willing to learn more if they
Absolutely,
need to.
yeah, yeah.
We have a canned program and they just kind of,
yeah, it's probably
Pull things in and
WordPress
out.
or something similar
Yeah.
to a WordPress
Weebly.
thing.
Weebly.
Okay.
Weebly.
Yeah. And again, the web, so I would not propose right now that the town does anything different with the website.
Okay, leave
And
that.
because you've got all the mechanical things that have to happen,
Yeah,
and it'll take a little while to switch, but I do propose that we build off of that
Mhm.
and maybe reduce that where it makes sense. Turn up and turn down things quickly.
Mhm.
And then, as Carl said, there are gonna be things that last longer.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's good. But again, the pricing on all this stuff is very pleasantly very low.
Okay.
Cool.
Great. So what is the next step with the survey? So where do you, like, how far do you think we are out from getting these out? How do we get them out? How do
So we were very close to having them ready for today.
Yeah.
And if we didn't.
30 minutes off.
If we didn't meet every month, we probably would have had them done. And
Yeah.
we've been all of us have been really super busy with all the other, distractions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we will be done before we meet next time, but
Okay.
we'll probably have to meet next time to kind of finalize.
Yeah.
Should we, like, let's say next time I'm confident, we'll have it done by next time. In assuming the committee is like, oh, yeah, that looks good. And if you guys want, we could share it.
Yeah,
amongst
share
the
it so
meeting,
we can put it as part of the package.
Um,
Yeah.
before, but if we think it's a go, if you guys are like, yeah, that's totally acceptable, that looks fine for, these surveys, is the next step on the path about how do we bring your website as an accessible location for, like, as
Well,
far as release
I'm gonna
goes?
propose two things. One, for the surveys, so yes, between now, so a domain name's not expensive. And we could probably get and have a domain name, like all that stuff, getting the domain name, pointing it, all of that stuff's super easy. It's easy to do, it's less easy to make sure the town has control of it right away,
Mhm,
right? Because that's
mhm.
the other step. I'm sure
Mhm.
you have your own registrar, yada, yada. So we might, because we're moving so fast,
Uh-huh.
we might need to find, if possible, a shortcut, or
Like a fast track for you to have the website domain launched with the surveys and then somehow.
yeah, so because the mechanics behind it are super easy, right? We finalize the details, we create and launch the site. I know that sounds hard, but we're talking days, not what it used to be with
Mhm.
months. So we do that in days. We select an innocuous URL or domain name that we can point to off of the main website.
Mhm.
We print out QR code marketing material.
Email the
Again, days.
contacts on the registry list.
Right, right. So we literally, like, this website is public. We could literally do this without ever having an official domain name. Like I could mask this URL in such a way that we just link to it from the main website. So there are shortcuts we could do
Okay.
for less permanent things if
Yeah.
we think it's expedient. However, also purchasing a domain name for small, like, we're talking tens of dollars,
Right,
not
right.
not even hundreds, right?
Right.
And using that and having the hosting owned and this solution owned by the town is probably going to take us longer to jump through those hoops and get, the select board okay with it and all that
Mhm.
stuff than it would for us to fake it and use these other ways to do it quickly.
Right. And this work that select board does not need to approve.
Okay.
And the creation of a domain, and like, the select board does not need to approve all that.
Okay.
That would all be for me anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would
All
all
right.
be for me.
Yeah, so we can,
Yeah. So the only thing
Do you need a quote?
as you all know, I know nothing about any of this. So the town has a domain name, the Chester BT does, is our domain. So, you're all gonna laugh at me. There's no concerns with having multiple domain names.
No.
Okay. Not gonna,
Are you,
So we're gonna,
I'm
is that
just-
a question or a statement?
it's a question.
Oh.
That's why I said you're all gonna laugh at me.
so,
I just wanna make sure, like, just because we're connected to so many federal things and domain name is connected to so many federal things, I just wanna make sure that nothing we're doing is.
I'll just throw out to you, you may not be familiar that when you have a .gov site,
Right,
sometimes it doesn't let you link to it
Right.
because it doesn't. So you just have to be aware of that.
Oh, you couldn't go from a .gov site to a .org or a .com.
Well,
There's some restrictions on
Yeah.
things and then it raises red flags and because of all the cybersecurity stuff in government.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason I
So
asked
what
that.
we're building is really a marketing portal for the town that is, that I as a citizen could do myself,
Right,
right? Like Chester actually couldn't stop me from creating the Chester Bulletin Board
Absolutely.
website.
Right.
right.
Right, so this is similar to that,
Okay.
except that it has town sponsorship.
Okay.
In that we're helping the town be better.
but
I think what he was saying is that there's a technical limitation possibly from having a .gov
Linking.
link and then being able to go out to a .com or a .
There's gotta be plenty of.
I don't think that's
on the
true.
website now.
And here's why. You can embed,
Okay.
I would be surprised.
Maybe we
And
could
I'm
test
pretty
it.
sure I could,
I would.
Yeah.
I know that with the
Could we
dot,
test it with that one?
yeah,
and certainly none of this is gonna be connected to any of my federal stuff. That
right.
this isn't gonna be connected to any of my federal
Nor would
reporting,
you
my
want it to.
federal domain stuff, it's not gonna be connected to.
Yeah, so we could easily test it by going and working with the staff and creating just a link to a test page.
Okay.
And on a
Yeah.
part of the
Perfect.
site nobody's gonna be looking at, and we
Perfect.
can just go there and verify that it'll
Okay.
click.
Perfect.
And then we could do it without ever being on the site if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Right now, Welcome to Chester Lodging, Franklin Farm Inn, and there's
Yeah.
there's a link to there already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think,
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think hyperlinks are fine. I don't think there's a problem with
Right, I
that.
think the issue is not with hyperlinks.
So just,
We have to be careful what we take to any .gov domain.
There
There are restrictions in how that
You,
can be.
you
done.
could run into a problem, we're just telling you, I know
Yeah.
with my phone, I tried to put 2 different .govs on it and they wouldn't let me do it. I don't know why.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even have these be .gov.
Yeah.
I would
Right.
make this a .net.
I
or
think
.com.
that's the easiest thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't, yeah, so I think, ahead.
Would that be, in the next month,
It's
like
not
us
that
just
nothing can link,
Yeah,
though, that's not
send
the
the
point.
link
It's
to
beyond that.
Julie of the
Or I
prototype.
understand this discussion.
and then that's also the artifact that people can go into and view it. And if that's gonna be what we try to launch after we get formal, we finally approve it end of the meeting, but they have a chance to navigate through and see how
Yeah.
it's gonna work.
and I think the first launch should be really focused on these surveys. And so it might have, so there's a couple things. The first launch probably should have a landing page that says what we're trying to do, kind of the mission of CEDC. And the surveys,
Mhm.
right? The initial business
Mhm.
listing,
Mhm.
and a call for, did we miss something? Do we
Mhm.
have something wrong?
Mhm.
And maybe the preliminary start of, here's all the things all the services and features that you have in Chester. Did you, kind of an ancillary survey of, did you know about them? Do you value them?
Mhm.
But also advertising them.
Right.
And that could be everything, it'd be everything that we can think of.
Right,
And we'd get maybe half of it, and rely on the rest of the community to help fill in the blanks. So those 3 things I think would be super aggressive, but good to have.
When we're approaching people or sending them a link, let's say to this site and all those surveys, is someone who owns a business, they're gonna link to all those surveys, or we're gonna try to specifically target them and direct them to the survey that's specific to them?
I think we should discuss it, but
Mhm.
one idea is we have, similar to the page, we have a thing that says surveys, and then why, and then different ones, right? And the QR code. Right, so you have one
So this is
page,
the physical.
yeah, so this
paper.
is a physical piece of paper.
that has all the
Right.
surveys, because the
Yeah.
survey may, somebody may wanna fill out 3
Yeah.
different surveys,
Yeah.
you never know.
Right, so this one,
Just,
sorry,
there's
Phil.
also, from what I saw of your preliminary listing,
Mhm.
there are going to be surveys that are very specific, like
Mhm.
farm.
Mhm.
I don't farm,
Right.
but,
Yet, we might get you.
well, actually, I do. I'm not- But what I'm thinking about are people who log on to irrelevant surveys to, if you excuse the expression, screw up the data.
Yeah.
And it's,
But they're gonna have to register, that part of the survey is they have to fill in their contact information and their email address. right?
So here's the thing.
there's two sides to this. First, you have people who legitimately want to respond to multiple surveys.
Mhm.
And then you have surveys that have a very targeted audience.
Mhm.
And is there, I think we should at least think about how to control, in effect, I think what I'm getting at is, how do we control the responses or the responders?
So. I hear what you're saying. There's certain groups that we would have a really hard time controlling, like visitors. And there's certain groups that are very easy to control, like business owners. And we may decide, we could, we haven't discussed whether the survey is anonymous, but I think it should be, right? And people should also have the ability to make it not anonymous.
Let me just interrupt you for a second.
Sure.
All I want to do is raise the issue.
Hmm.
I'm not looking to answer it tonight.
Yeah. Yeah,
As
so,
long as you seem to be primarily leading the design piece, kind of think about how we protect ourselves against malicious data.
Yeah.
Make sure that everybody can participate to the extent that they're interested and relevant.
Mhm.
And also prevent people from participating in surveys that they're totally irrelevant. I have no idea what the
Yeah.
answer is.
yeah, and I think we have to make some decisions, right? Because again, there's some groups that we could decide we are going to collect the business data one-on-one through personal interviews over time. Or we could say, we want as much data as possible and we're going to make it public and we're going to trust people to be relatively good citizens and not malicious. And yeah, we might get some bad data, but that's okay. So, and I think there's, yeah,
These are all decisions
yeah.
that we can make.
And I think, I mean, one of the survey questions that was the follow-on is, do you want to participate, right? You know, the level of engagement. So you might have somebody who's anonymous who puts in a bunch of stuff and you're like, well, I can't do any of that. And then, but it's anonymous. And then you may have other folks who, they put in a bunch of stuff and they say, yeah, please count me into this group, and they're essentially your engaged agents and distributed throughout the community who are going to help energize this movement. So I like the idea of it, as you talked about it, the idea of it being anonymous, but then, you still have that, you can put in something, and you feel safe when you're anonymous and you can really be critical about a lot of things. But then the people that you're actually talking to were typically more civil when we're face to face with each other and more collaborative. So typically.
Yeah, I would like to go with an iPad,
Yeah,
go talk to, all the businesses, and the ones who aren't reachable or can't seem to coordinate schedule, then send them an email directly to that survey. That's just my idea.
so we might have, thinking about that, because I think that has more value, but it's more work, right? But it also shows that we care and also allows us to get Barry, we've got these questions, what did we miss? That sort of thing, so we can add quality to what we're doing as we go. So maybe we have this thing and you can go to the, you have it and you scan it on your phone or your iPad. And because it's you filling it out, with someone, there's a box that you check that nobody else sees, or some way that you, there's something you do that other people wouldn't necessarily know to do, that tells us, this is data that you gathered.
So it's higher confidence data.
Yeah, and so we get, it gets mixed in with all the other stuff, but we
Mhm.
can easily filter on it. Yeah,
Mhm.
so,
That's good.
yeah. But like you said, Phil, we gotta think
I
about it.
think spending the time, because a lot of people think, you know, commissions and collecting data, like it's not like doing stuff, you know, but I think if we know it is, but it gives the appearance of that touch point, that physical, personal touch point, really gets people excited. Like even just talking to Miguel and Kristen, talk about one of your ideas, like the weddings and bringing more weddings to town. Am I being premature? Or is that all right?
It's on the agenda.
You know, they really want to get into catering and they were very excited, just like the idea of that, you know, and that's only going to come through a conversation, right? Because that's still like in the stages where we wouldn't be forward facing about it. We'd have to see if there's enough support, if there's enough interest. Are there the venues, like where would people get married in Chester? Yes, Grafton's the premium wedding spot, but you know, can we
We've got
turn it into, like, you know,
Yeah,
There are
there's
wedding
a-
locations. in
yeah.
Chester.
So-
The DRB over the last year probably had 3 or 4 applications for wedding venues. Do we have any weddings taking place?
Well, it's a very interesting story because these have been on like more remote properties and one of them is the Williams Farm on Peck Road, and they have found they haven't had that many weddings.
There was one on.
One was the Old Town Farm on Route 10,
Goldthwait.
but they ended up, a new owner came and didn't want to do weddings, and then the Goldthwait one, they've never actually started. So,
Stonehearth in the past has done weddings.
yeah.
And there is an individual,
Yeah.
looking at the Fullerton. There's
To buy
negotiations,
it?
yeah, there's negotiations taking place. I don't know how far they'll get, but there are negotiations taking place. And she has a lot of interest in weddings
Oh,
and events and redoing the space in the back
But I
of the
can,
Fullerton and doing a lot.
I
of
can
things.
also say
So
from
I'm hoping
the
she does.
DRB point of view, when you have people wanting to do weddings in a remote site, you start getting neighbor opposition, you know,
Yeah.
the band's gonna be playing late, there's gonna be traffic going up and down the road.
The only point,
But-
Preston, is that people are interested in it.
Right,
But it's not being consummated.
that's true. But I would, good, yes, that is true. And there is some speculation as how much of a fad are the whole wedding crowd. But I was thinking, I know we're getting ahead on our agenda, but I was thinking that the green and the businesses around the green are not gonna have those issues where
No.
people are gonna be saying, you know, this is disrupting our peace and quiet. I don't think we're gonna have those issues.
Everyone that came to us, we approved,
True.
notwithstanding the objections from the neighbors. So, yes, when you're in the more remote locations,
Yeah,
the neighbors are going to speak out, and I think Goldthwait was the only one where we really had
yes,
organized neighbors. But nevertheless,
yeah.
there's no follow through.
Well, anyway, let's hold weddings up a little bit. I put it on the agenda just because I wanted to see, you know, Carl had put together a lot of stuff, but it was involving some specific institutions, and I wanted to talk about it more broadly, of just like, this is what we want Chester to be or to go for. But why don't we, if you don't mind, Damon, I guess the community survey is, we're ready to move on, or?
So what, so.
Because next meeting, you're feeling you'll be in a pretty good shape to,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the next meeting, do you think you can come up with what you think expenses will be for some of these things? And then I'll add it to the May. select board agenda.
How dialed in? It's within $100, like, could we say less than 500?
I
and
think,
that's sufficient?
yeah.
These numbers are gonna be so, yeah, we'll
Well,
be fine.
and if we're talking,
we'll
like-
Take a phased approach.
Yeah, I'm just, asking Julie, like, how, like, do you need, like, oh, this is gonna be the receipt, or is it like?
No,
the
no,
dollar
no, no, no,
range,
no,
we're-
no, no, no,
we're
no,
okay?
no, no, no. And, I mean, depending on what we're talking about, maybe it doesn't even need to go to the select board. So
My guess is it might not need to go to the select.
it may
board.
not, yeah.
It's my-
So
It's petty
let's
cash.
talk, let's talk about, maybe at the next meeting, we also talk about our, the financial request.
Oh, I hate to harp, but is the email addresses for us to use, so if we ever are, .gov, you'd mentioned something during our first meeting that if we were.
Oh,
gonna keep-
shoot, yes, we never set them up.
Okay.
Yep. I'll have Amy do that when she gets back.
That's what you guys want me to invite you on Slack, right?
Right,
Yes.
once we have
Okay.
those, we can
Yes.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Are
we're
you sure you
we're
don't
blowing
wanna
up
not get the
Brian's
address?
phone with emails.
I
and
do.
stuff.
Okay, so
I
the three of us
decided
all
that
want a .gov.
Yes, the three of you want a .gov emails.
We want to be super
Amy-
official.
Amy's
when we
on
start
vacation, she'll be
emailing
back on
people.
Monday, so I will have her do them.
Okay, great.
We're gonna use Slack just for this little subcommittee, right? Which is a third party kind of project management tool, right,
Okay.
for
It
sharing.
helps us to collaborate.
And so they
easier.
were thinking, I invited them with their personal emails and we were just, I don't know this and we probably don't want to risk it, so we'll just wait for the .gov, but if our emails were discoverable, if this would also be discoverable, if it was attached to our personal
If it is
email.
anything to do with town work,
Mhm.
So
it
we'll
is
also
subject
Slack
to open meeting law,
.gov.
or to open records law.
Yeah, so we want to make sure whatever collaboration tools we're using in our working groups only use our .gov
Correct.
email, and that way
Yeah,
if it's
and don't
discoverable,
use-
they can go in there and
Absolutely,
Whatever.
correct. Don't do any, I don't have it connected to any of your personals.
Remember what happened to Hillary?
All we have to do is keep her served under my desk and
in the basement. Yeah, good job.
I will get those. I will get those for you next week. Vinny.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we have a list of objectives from Julie, and I circulated that email.
Mhm.
They're pretty broad, and they're all the things that I had talked to you about anyway at the last meeting.
How do you feel like we're doing against your objectives at the moment?
No, I'm thrilled.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of a like.
Oh, the energy you guys have is great. Yeah.
I hear my counterparts in other towns who are way more tech savvy, than I am, are delving into the AI and how AI can be used in government, and are enjoying it. So I'm kind of excited that I can go to
You're the
managers
world's
conferences and
smartest
say, well,
intern.
guess what we're doing. I can't have too much of a conversation because I don't really understand it, but yeah, it's cool. And it's nice to, to kind of start delving into that a little bit, because I know the government is using AI in a lot of different ways too. So the whole thing terrifies me, but we'll use it for good and do right.
That's all we can do, right?
There's no evil.
Good and not evil. Yes. Yeah.
So no, I am very happy with the direction that we're going. I mean, this is checking off a lot of things that I was hoping to get done. So,
So your list,
yeah.
is it, I don't get a sense that this is a prioritized list.
This is not a prioritized.
Would it be,
And the order of them is,
Yeah, do you
other
have-
things may feed other things.
right, well,
Yeah.
there's some that are precursors and kind of
Sure.
there's, but are there, I see all of these things as attainable. Is there anything that you would call out as, these are the things that I'm super, super excited about?
That I'm super
Super excited about, yeah, like,
I want to eventually get us to a place, and I know it's down the road, but I want to get Chester to a place of where we actually market our town.
Mhm.
I know that will take a while. And I know that's gonna take a lot of, I'm not sure that we've ever really had the conversation or know like who we are or what we actually have to offer. I think there are some people who have ideas. Then I think we also kind of have that old Vermont mentality of, municipalities don't market themselves, right? You're just a town and, town government doesn't have a role in economic development. I mean, there is still a lot of that mindset in Vermont. And so we've started to kind of move away from that, in the past several years. And, get people to understand that a town absolutely has a responsibility to market itself. I mean, we don't get into the inner workings of a private business, but it is our job to bring to bring people and business
Yeah.
and grow your community. But I think in order to do that well, I think there needs to be good conversation around what do we have to offer. I'm not sure that we fully understand that. I'm not sure that I fully understand that. So I think there's going to need to be a lot of conversation around that and what features do we use? What features are features that we have that are marketable? And that probably depends on who you're marketing to. And maybe that's the other question. Like, who are you marketing to? Who is your target? Who is your, and that probably depends on, are you talking business growth or tourism? I mean, I probably all,
I mean, we need,
the spider web, but
it all goes hand in hand, like we need affordable housing so that we
Right.
can bring,
right, it's
Vermont,
all connected.
Vermont needs to grow by 100,000
Mhm.
people as opposed to shrinking by 2,000.
Mhm.
Like it
Yeah.
needs to,
Yeah.
it needs healthy, sustainable growth.
Yeah.
And then you need places to stay, places to work,
Right.
to
Things
varied
to do.
surface to,
Yeah.
it's like, how do
Yeah.
we smooth out the shoulder, smooth out the season so you can have demand so people have jobs throughout everything. And that's, the weddings was just, one
Idea.
one
Yeah.
idea, but
Yeah.
there's so many other cool things to do in Chester all year round. I
Right.
mean, I would love for us to just buy QR codes in Houston and Atlanta during August so people could leave those horrible hot states in that time to get out of there. Like it's oppressive and it's
Yeah.
beautiful here.
Yeah.
Like, and there's,
Yeah.
if you're here, you don't even think anything's happening in August, but it's
Right.
not trying to kill you.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, and I think it's also, it's understanding ourselves as a town and what we have to offer, but I think it's understanding who we are within the region,
Mhm.
and our place within the region and our role within the region. And instead of trying to compete with neighboring towns, how do what we have enhance them? How do they enhance us?
Yeah.
And so how to kind of grab hold of that, I'm not really sure. It's a big topic. How do you break it down and discover those pieces? But at the end of the day, I would love us to be a town that actually has a marketing plan and markets itself.
I think the surveys is a great point, but right now it's just, the seven of us in the room, but if we
Right.
had even 15 or 20 more people who are out there rooting for us and
Mhm.
being our tailwind and like grabbing things and running with it and bringing energy and excitement, it totally changes look what the Chester Festival folks do. There are like 6 people that just work really, really hard for this amazing 3-day period that brings in, and you talk to, the people in the village, and it's the biggest weekend for them business wise.
Right.
And it's built off of the, volunteer work of 5 individuals. And if we had 30 people doing something like that on
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
the magnitude is just
Yeah.
incredible.
Couple things real quick. One, so Barry.
I don't know if Barry's itching to say something.
Well, yeah, so again, I'm gonna try to be succinct. 2000 and whatever, I gotta sell my gallery on Cape Cod. I wanted to have a place like Cape Cod, where I had traffic. I wanted as much year-round traffic as I could get. I rented a little shack by Lake Winnipesaukee for a summer. I was thinking New Hampshire. There was a separation between lakes and skiing. I ended up bringing some bears up to Bill Austin. They all sold. When I was a kid, I used to hunt ducks. You're out there when they're flying south in the morning and you put out your decoys and you shoot your ducks. That's what I did on Cape Cod, and that's what this town was to me. The roadway here, when we talk about our biggest assets, that's what I recognized. That's what's allowed me to be sustainable. The arts are very difficult. I think I get a lot of crap because I'm not rich when I have so much talent. But in reality, I have to put a huge amount of time into what I do, and it's only worth so much. But I have been able to sustain myself. However, I've been able to do it here. And when people come to me, they're like, what are you doing in this little town? I say, that road is like a river of salmon, and I am a grizzly bear. I would prefer to be in Brooklyn or someplace cool, but all I have to do is roll out of my den open my mouth and a fat juicy salmon jumps in because I got my bears on the road. And then I might not have a lot of the type of grizzly bears around that I'd like to hang out with, the art community that I'd like, but I'm able to sustain myself. And then I say, it's really weird being here because nobody in this town wants to eat salmon, and we have a whole road full of them. So I appreciate what you're saying, Julie, and I'm being a little bit, over the edge about the tourism thing and whatever. One of the things we did too that was kind of fun when we brought this up way back when, marketing the town, and I went to the select board, and Bill Lindsay was on at that time. And I talked about Paradise City, which is the largest art and craft show producing company in Massachusetts. They have one in Northampton at a hotel art show in the spring, I believe. And then in fall, they have one in Marlborough in a convention center. And they invite all kinds of artisans. So Bill has gone there religiously since because he liked it. And I actually went there and talked to artists about moving to our town. So, and I actually had a conversation with Steve the other day at the Jiffy Mart. One of the things I think we could do that's sustainable for people is get more artisans in our town. I make the analogy of somebody that's knits Angora sweaters. They hang out a shingle. You can have a home occupation here. They could buy a place on the roadway, do business, still do crafts, still do online, and then take advantage of our roadway. But I think the other thing is it's hard to get people to move. That's been my thing, inviting friends here. I mean, I got my friend Rich to move here. That wasn't the greatest thing I ever did. But, I do think that's one of our biggest assets. I think arts and culture is one of the things that's most important to people when they travel. And that gets to my other thing that I always come around to when people ask me when they come in my gallery, what do you lack? And I think I said this last time I was here, and that's the lily pad effect. We don't have enough places for people to go to get hungry and stay here and eat in the restaurants. They go to me, they go to Michael and Jesse, and then they go to Woodstock or whatever they're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, today, so there's some problems that we'll be able to address more quickly, and others will take more time. The lily pad will be difficult, and part of it is, like today, I walked around Main Street and the Green, and I did it at 4:30, and I watched visitors walking around looking for any place that was open, and nothing's open. There was one place open, the restaurant,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
Gotta have it, but yeah, this couple just they were looking at every door.
Yeah.
Everything
shut down.
Yeah, so and it makes sense that business owners are only gonna be open the hours and times when they have business, so.
You have
It-
foot traffic,
yeah.
it encourages longer hours.
So I do think as we do this, we need to make sure that the local businesses know that we're here first to help support and grow them, right? So the Barrys of the world, are you okay? Is what you're doing now sustainable? Where can we relieve pain? Where can we help grow? Where can we encourage?
Yeah, that's that baseline.
And then add to it. And then just tying back to the planning and talking about what we are and what do we have to offer. The planning meeting mentioned a SWOT analysis, and I do think that, kind of looking at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I don't know that the town has ever done it, but
No,
and I think
not
we
in my
can,
20 years.
yeah, I think we can definitely help with that, with some of the things that we're
Yeah.
doing to add information into that.
Yeah.
We could probably have our own first pass at a SWOT for them to build off of.
Yeah, I think so, especially after we get the surveys.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can probably take fast now, but then have it reinforced by
Right.
VOC.
So as far as the agenda goes, this is, me thinking in my old school way of thinking. The current town webpage for this group just simply has agendas and minutes. That's all it has. And I was thinking when we actually get a finalized mission, that'll go up there. I was thinking this list of objectives could go up there. But I'm just wondering, are we ready for that, or do you want to keep chewing on the objectives?
Yeah, these are the things that you guys asked me to think about. What are the things that I want us to complete. This is just kind of what I came up with. These are the things that have been swirling in my brain for.
I
Past
think
couple
it's
years.
great for us.
Good. Yes.
Sorry. No, why wait?
Yeah,
We can,
yeah.
you know,
You
let's,
can change it later.
right.
And then I would put on there who the members of the committee are,
Yeah.
you know, all
Yeah.
those things. And then we'll have a little site where people can actually go and say, oh, that's who
Right.
they are.
And we'll
Yeah.
quickly replace
And then,
that with
and then
something
you'll
else.
replace it when you,
But yeah, why wait?
yeah, okay, all right. Well, then I guess I would say, in terms of just moving the meeting along, I guess you're saying for right now, that's okay. Reserve the right to change it and.
Were there other questions about these objectives? Like, did I?
No, this was great. I love seeing this. So
And if
thank
there-
you for.
And it doesn't, and it's not all my way, right? Like, so, I mean, these are just the things that have swirled in my brain. So there are things
Once
that are
we
like,
get the VOC back, I mean, there might be another 3 or 4 things that come
Right.
back that we're like, oh, let's, add that, let's add sequencing to how these will,
Yeah.
Yeah.
play out.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
We've already talked about it a little bit, but I'll bring it up again, weddings as an economic engine. I have a real heart for the fact that, I mean, there are certain communities that don't have lodging institutions. We've got some good lodging institutions, but given the fact that they're struggling, I'd hate to lose them. And so
Right.
when you came up with the wedding thing, I thought, well, that's one tangible thing that could get people going.
Right.
So I just wanted to have at least a generic conversation about, is this a focus? Is this a theme that we want to push a bit more? Or I know you've said is one of many. And I also just said that I was thinking that while there's some resistance sometimes to weddings in remote locations, I think around the green, that wouldn't be a real issue.
I mean, I would love, I mean, if it was,
But we do need to kind of market it, yeah.
I mean, if it was something that was, everyone's like, yeah, it's not a terrible idea, let's,
Yeah.
and kind of the idea of like, well, let's see what the receptivity of it is. I mean, we could
Yeah.
approach the congregations and go, how do you feel about hosting wedding? Like there's a Catholic church, there's an Episcopal church, there's a non-denominate, there's public spaces, the Fullerton literally could have a wedding within it, We have the infrastructure, we have the hard parts in place, lodging, churches, destinate, like you can't just spin that up. We already have all the assets.
Right.
So I mean, it's part of the idea behind the, getting a full 4-season, 12-month calendar of things where we have foot traffic and you can figure out when are the best weekends to do one thing. So then, going back when you're walking around the village at 4:00, you've got more than one store open because you've got people. Just one idea, I'm sure there's plenty of other good ideas out there.
So going back to your original model of having a template that could be used and kind of the flywheel. I think this is going to be one of many, but I think this could be the first model of, hey, here's an idea. We don't know if it's the best or right idea, but we think it's a good idea. And what are the pieces we would do to help build out this idea?
Yeah.
And that template we could use for the next ideas. And so anyone who comes up and says, well, I don't like weddings, that's great. What do you like?
You like farmers markets?
What's your idea? And so we could apply this template to other things. So I think the wedding one, having built a very successful wedding company, I know that weddings are very profitable.
I didn't know you had done that, okay.
Yeah, so one of the companies
know
that
that.
I
I
owned
love that.
was a wedding film company that grew very, very large and is still
Yeah.
quite successful. Actually voted best in New England, I think. Anyways, yeah, so a lot of money, a lot of opportunity, and so let's use it as like the first thing to put through whatever template we're going to create. And so we got to think about how do we, regardless of what the idea is, this one's weddings, what are the questions we have to ask, and what are the steps, and what's the process to make it go from weddings to Chester Does Weddings, and that sort of promotion thing. Yeah, so we could probably, I don't know how much how much you've spent on this already.
No, I mean, like, other than just kind of the initial,
Yeah.
ideation of like, how would this work? Yeah, because we've got bakeries, we've got restaurants, I mean, we've got so many like good things. And it's, you just kind of piece them together and then kind of going back, like, who wants to be engaged? And they're like, oh, you want to be part of this? You know, come on board, you know, you can be the photographer, you know, these are the list of the photographers, these are the catering service, these are the,
Yeah, and kind of a mini gap analysis. What don't we have? Okay, we have lodging, we have this. We don't have
we need a tailor,
officiants
you know,
or,
a local
yeah,
tailor to
rentals, whatever, tent rentals, whatever it is.
Right.
And, yeah, it's good, it's good. All right, so I think by next meeting, we should have a template of what the pieces are. What do we think the process is for any idea, but specific to weddings?
Yeah, we can do that.
Is that a different group, subgroup to focus on that?
Brian, you want
Anyone
Want
interested,
to
not
help out?
interested?
We're gonna have a Slack channel by
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, as long as we have the Slack channel, because I don't do email.
We got that. We've
There's
blown
so
up
few
this-
of you to spread it beyond multiple groups, I know.
Right. So,
Well, some of them are gonna kind of,
Yeah,
the effort on survey will be, the hard work is, you know, it'll move in waves, right? Like, you
Right,
know,
yeah.
getting it launched,
yeah.
percolating, and then analysis.
And is there, so I think it's great to focus on weddings, that's one of the first ones. But does anyone here have another idea? I heard Barry say, without meaning to, he wants an art festival. Maybe Barry wants to start putting you know, we're gonna grow our subcommittee, Barry. You're starting the art festival one. It's a committee of one right now, but
I guess if thank you for including me. I have been really amazed at the quality of people that I'm interacting with the comics.
Uh-huh.
I'm not as big a fan as my chainsaw carving buddies anymore. I've been a pioneer in that, and I do like that, and it is kind of cool, but it's loud, it's messy, and a lot of them don't have any money to be helpful. The comics travel. I had guys travel 2 hours to come to my place last Saturday, and I've traveled. A lot of people travel for an hour to do 5 minutes. Really, really nice people travel an hour, do 5 minutes, not getting paid. So if part of the Economic Development Committee's goal is to do events, I think a clean, fun, nice person, committed, people with little money in their pocket type of event would be a comedy festival. And what you're talking about, the heat down south, Austin is huge right now. Some of the people in this area have been on Kill Tony, which is big down there. I'm starting to get more and more connections, and I'm putting my thing online, and it's starting to gain some traction. I'm doing a contest on the 18th for one-liners, where I'm putting up some prize money. So I think next fall or next spring, we could bring a comedy festival to our town and really fill up the town, especially if we ever get vendors. I had a run-in with Rob at the Fullerton the other night. The guys in town wanted to do an open mic. It was just whatever. That's another story. But we have town hall. We have, if Rob is not in charge of the Fullerton, we have the Fullerton. We have a lot of places. But I think we could do an off-season thing, and however we incentivize it, lower rooms or just advertise it or come up with some prize money for some, whatever, that would be something that I would be
Okay.
willing to
Cool.
help out with and could definitely do.
all right. So so we're gonna have a template, and so we'll put you know, events / comedy festival type thing through the template and see how good the template is. And yeah, it sounds like you're already putting in a lot of effort to grow.
Well,
it
so
anyway.
one of the things that I've always wanted is to have some form of a reality show. And at the same time, I already get a few too many people stopping in, talking to me, and it's like, go talk to your lawyer. But, you know, so I really don't want to become super famous.
Salmon are just jumping.
Yeah, well, if you
into-
become too famous, you got too many friends that just want to waste your time. But at the same time, like towns that have people that pop and become famous for what they do, people come to those towns.
Right.
So you know, that's part of what I've been trying to do. I got it. I got in the top 5 out of 1,000 with a reality show in like 2016 with A&E. So I'm kind of doing with my social media and stuff like that now, and I'm going to do a marathon again. Hopefully after that, I'll have like 10,000 people on Facebook. So now almost everything I post, I get 1,000 views. And that, you know, everything has Chester in it, Pinsky's Rising Tide in Chester. So, you know, who the hell knows? But I mean, I am doing that. And the other thing I really want to do is fix up my place. That's my goal right now. I want to make my place look really, really nice. Spring is coming, the weather will be break. That's my goal. So you see the little bit that I did with the landscaping last year before it got cold, but I'm hoping to get on the building and get it cleaned up. So that'll be a better reflection on the town too. So 2 things. 1, good reflection on the town with social media and events and fun stuff, and have that grow. Then make my place look nicer too.
Well, yeah, and as we expand this, we're gonna need people who are really good at social media and so we can do cross promotion and stuff. So that's great.
I think too, like, I mean, and I don't, I haven't had inventory to do Paradise City or the flower show in Hartford or something like that. And I know Sheldon and the people went down to the Big E back in the day. Was that through the chamber or something, Julie? What was that through?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I mean, so there are places where we could be placed to do stuff that we could have promotion for our town, where we get more people coming through too to get exposed to our town. But there's the amount of people that we have coming through this town for various reasons is unreal. And the amount of money that they have in their pockets is crazy. Like I have two art collectors that are like for real billionaires. Not that it's all about money. Economic
Money always
development's about
helps.
money.
Money always helps.
So for the next agenda, I have the business list, the survey, financial requests, and then the wedding template. Is that where we're,
Oh, do we want to come back with a wedding template?
that's what they were saying?
Okay,
I think we're
okay.
gonna have it ready by
Yeah,
next
we like
meeting.
to set aggressive goals. So
I-
if we get
I mean, we don't always
yeah.
hit them, but
Absolutely
we,
love it.
Yeah.
you know, it's
We
better to
would've-
aspire.
If we didn't know about that half an hour, we would have been fine.
Perfect.
It does say 6:30 on the website.
Well, we have enough, Where does it say 6?
And yesterday, but that's okay.
Apparently the website said the meeting was yesterday at 6:30. So I think it's in the girls when they did the calendar. I mean, we're warned correctly because the agenda is what matters, but yeah, I sent Samantha an email
Okay.
to say fix this.
The,
Said it kindly though.
Right.
And my wife was like, "Girl, you can't send all that stuff to people. They're gonna overwhelm them." Like, touche.
No, I'm always kind to my staff until they
and I will
until they
just
warrant not being kind, which is not
make the
very often.
comment that I've told you many times, I live in Woodstock. There was a small group that started a little thing called the Covered Bridge Half Marathon. It's become enormous. They've had to like limit how many people can sign up. I mean, it's a
Brilliant
huge
though.
event.
Instead of just
So you
doing
just never know what's gonna
Pumpkin
take.
Festival just
Yeah.
got out of
Exactly.
control.
Yeah.
I mean, just,
And some years ago, Hardwick had a reggae fest, and it got so big, the select board said, we don't want to host it anymore.
yeah.
Been having
You know,
Careful
that's-
what you wish for, right?
It seems like a
So that- I
strange
think
thing.
that's
I know it.
important, though, like doing the, what do we want to be?
Right.
Because we could just do stuff and have it be successful and then figure out, oh, we don't want to be that,
Right.
you know?
We could also kill things too. I mean, we can experiment, right?
Yes.
You know, like you could be like, "Oh, that was something. Let's not do that again."
I thought you were suggesting a new event. Not exciting.
I get to create the list.
Most dangerous thing.
I think
We already have a motto that I like. And it's the Vermont you were looking to find. or
It's
Not a
something.
bad one, yeah.
It's not bad at all.
And we ought to just keep that in the back of our minds in terms of what we want to be.
Also organically what will sort of happen. We had in a bunch of different directions and see what comes into fruition. I just wanted to put it on everyone's radar. I don't know if it's gonna be a thing or not, and this isn't political, but Bernie came to town and he had a really fun dance party with a really high turnout. So Ann Lamb is gonna try to start a quarterly dance party, and she wants to raise money for different places in Chester. So the first one's gonna be for the Chester Teen Center.
Oh, cool.
So, just another event
that's
that's kind
fun,
of
yeah.
springing up. We don't know, obviously Bernie was a big draw for a lot of people, so we'll see, how many people actually show up for that, but dance is kind of percolating again,
Yeah.
like there's square dancing happening everywhere again,
Yeah.
like people need to move,
Yeah.
not being Mr. Pilates here, but people
Yeah.
really need to move because everyone's like,
Yeah.
So, just something to put out there, and then maybe that could build, maybe the fundraiser for our commission.
Yeah.
We can invite people to come down and actually show their, whatever they're making or selling or represent their business in some way.
Yeah.
Kind of celebrate the businesses in Chester.
Yeah.
And then I was also just putting out there, just thinking of during mud season and stick season, is there a way to, and I know that Will and I try to do this, we try to be better patrons during those seasons, because that's when businesses are kind of, is there a way to, in talking to the businesses, a way to increase the locals going and participating in those businesses, even if it's like a very minuscule discount or something,
Right.
or they get, they get
Or
something,
maybe it's just a campaign the town runs
yeah,
Mhm.
that
in
just,
support of the businesses.
Yeah, like come out and
Get the
support
town behind
Chester.
it, exactly.
yeah. So those are
Right,
just
local
some
business
things.
day and have
It-
it
it-
twice a year in those particular, yeah.
It is interesting because I do like to go out, and sometimes as a local, I'm like, there's no place for me to go in here.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
sometimes it's only me,
Yep.
right? And so, yeah, there is a balance there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like to add two things. One, I'm on the mailing list for the Vermont Arts Council. Because I'm not a nonprofit, I can't do a lot of the things that they offer. I can get maker grants and stuff like that. But the one thing that I was looking at, they said for municipalities. So I was thinking, this one of the things I probably should have brought up in the public comment, but this somehow I think that there's assets there and resources there that we could tie into that could be used for an arts festival or a comedy festival or something like that through the Arts Council. If we tapped into that, I don't know if that might be something that this group gets on that mailing list then, and we established that we
the
can
town's on that list.
say that again,
The
please?
town is on the mailing.
So you get the mailings from them. So if something comes up that I think I'm interested in, I can address that to you. That would be good.
I would say,
Oh, the other thing I want to say real quickly, if you guys were to guess, what would be my busiest day of the week over the whole year? You're not supposed to do this, but what day would you guess would be my busiest day? For my sales,
Sunday?
Tuesday.
Monday. And a lot of our places are not open on Monday. So what you want to,
Get a restaurant around here on Monday.
what you want, what the deal is that because so like a lot of my business is the second homeowners. They're driving back and forth.
Yeah.
Monday is the I don't have to get home on time day. And that's when they stop and buy. It's crazy. And with respect to the amount of holidays on Mondays. So the difficulty in my business, in businesses like mine, people fly up Friday, they fly home Sunday, they're passing. Monday, they're going home slow boat. They don't have to get home. They stop in and they buy.
Yeah.
So it's part of your vision for the town and being visionary and oversightful and communicating, making people aware that it would be good for us to be open on that day and have their day off on Tuesday and Wednesday. I think that could benefit everybody.
If not, let's make sure it is one. If we did eventually do some sort of art festival, the folks who help get that going do not have to be in Chester. We just want to make sure it happens in Chester.
Correct.
So, Barry, if you know people, like I know some people that are very involved in the arts, I'm sure you do. Maybe there's enough of them to start.
Well, Julie and I talked way back when we were on the committee that was down, where did we meet at? When Rick had the restaurant. And I'm not gonna say the person that.
Sorry, I have to go.
That,
Okay.
so anyway, there's a lot of, these putting sculptures around town, not the giant tennis shoe type of sculptures, but real art around town.
Yeah.
And having people come and see that is working really well at a lot of places. I'm on mailing lists for those. Meredith, New Hampshire, and then there's an orchard in Northampton. They get like 30,000 people over the season. So when I talked about it, somebody at the meeting said, what if they want to take a picture of the Academy building and there's a sculpture in front, da 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 da, and then that was it. But that sort of thing, I think, is almost better than trying to do a festival like they do with the town festival.
Yeah.
Because people come and put stuff and then has a chance to sell it, gives something for people to see and look around the town.
Okay,
All right, any other
Okay.
business?
I don't think so.
Here's SEPA again.
wow.
Shut us
Nothing
down.
with my emacs. Again,
What
you're
happened?
gonna get an email from me. It's a long story. All right, is there I don't want to, I'm recording.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think we're done.
Are we good?
Move to adjourn.
So, those in favor?
Second motion.
Yep,
Aye.
good. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Thanks for including me, everybody. I appreciate it.
Has there been any more